There she goes. You beauty. It came. So it took a little while, but it got you eventually. So this is the hub motor. This is what it came in. If you watched the unboxing on my previous video, you'll know that I want to convert the front wheel on this Jogger over here for the kids. Put a hub motor on it and just make it a little bit easier to go up the hills. And yeah, so in this episode I'll just unbox what's inside here. We'll connect it up and see if we can get it running. And I'll just go through the design on my computer that I've done on SketchUp, and just sort of you can see what I have in mind, and what my plans are. And yeah, so let's get cracking with this and have a look what's inside. Alright, I had a look at this little manual over here. Looks pretty good quality. It is very generic, so it is sort of set up for a few different models of similar, you know, like the same, just with a few iterations. So that's pretty cool. Got a little bag for the controller, so easy enough. I guess, you know, it's meant for a bicycle, so you obviously it would be on the handlebar, but we'll do something different. We won't have an option. We've got the controller over here. I thought this was a lot bigger. I thought it was something like this big. So wee little controller. So that's probably the most important piece. Let's see what we got here. Okay, that's the little the display. So you can control your different speed levels and so on. There's some instructions with that. Got a throttle cable. Well, throttle, it's cable. I checked that beforehand, I did see it. It is going to be long enough, only just got to go to the back of the handle all the way through. And alright, let's see what's inside the So these are the e-brakes. These will be connecting to the controller. Now, it's not exactly a brake. What I understand, and I obviously haven't tested anything, is that the moment you pull on the lever, it just cuts power to the motor. So it's not going to do any braking as such. So the plan is to get to some regular old brakes into as part of the build. There's just a few zip ties and a few just some cable management there. This I think is what they call a pass or something, so I won't be using this. It's just a sensor that when you pedal on a bicycle, you put it around the crank, and the moment it senses that you're pedaling, then the assist goes on. So it's just a function of thing now, so you can set it to say pedal assist or not. Or you could set it to just work whenever you want to. So I won't be using that. And this is just a little clamp. There's a name for it. It's just to anchor the actual hub motor. You would normally run this onto the fasten this onto the actual frame of a bicycle, onto the fork, and that way the hub motor stays in place. I might use it. I'm not sure if I can make it work practically. Otherwise I'll make a different plan and make sure that there's no movement. So that's that. And then there's the actual nut motor. So I'm not sure which direction it turns. I guess we'll find out shortly. So yeah, looks pretty good. It happens to be the same size as the one here. I'll get to that in a second. And yeah, so which is great, so I can use the tire that came with the Jogger rather than having to go buy one. Seems to be the same rim size, maybe a bit skinnier, I'm not sure. we'll see you a little later. And yeah, 250 watt, 36 volt. I have bought a adapter to use my normal lawnmower battery, so that should be interesting to see if that works. And yeah, so I'm excited to see, let's hook this up and let's see if it works. Alright, so this is here's the little adapter I bought for the Ryobi battery, and it comes with a little fuse here and a few different size fuses, which is cool. It's just got a little switch, it's off at the moment. So I have put an XT60 connector on, and it was my sort of first proper welding soldering experience there. Obviously this was my first go, it was a little bit of a mess. Alright, so we'll get this all connected up and see what we can do. I assume everything just connects up and just match them up. Now, so look at, so this is going to be on. Oh, power. You beauty. Alright. There she goes. Nope, nothing. So we have power there. Ah. It would help if I plugged it in there. It's got two little arrows, so it makes it just a bit easier. Put my screws in there. There she goes. You beauty. That is awesome. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. So that's good to know. This saved me a heap of money. Instead of spending $100 on a new battery and whatnot, and maybe, you know, that's excluding the actual shell that's in there. You know, this thing was like 20 bucks. So I've got two of these batteries, and to be honest, this is not going to use a whole lot of power. So even though I only 4 amp hours, I don't think it should be a problem. You're going to really use it going uphill. I might try this e-brake guard just to see what it does. So this is one of them. Left and right. So it's actually got a left and right, so there we go. So it's okay to connect both in. Oopsie, I'm gonna be careful. Alright, so it seems to cut motor. It's hard to say if it's actually braking until I've put the wheel on. So if you didn't see an unboxing, this is the jogger that I just bought on a website called Gym Plus. It was about $350. Australian, that is. Yeah, so it comes with some stroller wheels, so you can have it as a stroller, a jogger, and then it's got a little bicycle attachment so you can pull it behind a bicycle. The goal here is to replace this tire with the hub motor, and so I just motorize it, have the accelerator at the back, and then just be able to go up and down, up hills a little bit easier with the kids. The goal is to not use this because the dropout isn't wide enough, and anyways be boring just to be able to replace the motor. So it's been more fun just to make a new frame that will come out, hold the motor, and then the frame itself will have like housing space for the battery and the controller. And so I'll get to that design in a second on the computer, but I just wanted to show you, just so you understand what I'm talking about later. The problem with this one is it's a little bit, it's not a square shape. So this is, that side is obviously flat, and then this is rounded over there. So luckily this is 22 mil, and this is 30 mil. So what I can do, what I will do, is I'll just 3D print like a little jacket to go over 20 by 20 mil steel tubing, and then that jacket will just keep it nice and snug inside there. I could probably go without it, but it's probably going to be so rattly and wonky. I think it's going to be important to rather print something. That means that it's going to be one more thick on the other side. We'll have to see. I'll probably have to print it quite finely just so it's a little bit smoother or sanded or whatever. So yeah, so that's it. This will get replaced with a new frame, and then at some point I want to as well put a proper brake on. I'll have to test first to see what that e-brake does. Maybe it's sufficient, maybe it actually does something. I don't think so. I think it just cuts the motor. So if it doesn't work, then I'll put in a normal V-brake system off the actual frame. And yeah, so let me show you what's on the computer, and then you'll get a better idea of what I'm going to do and go from there. Okay, so I'm in SketchUp here, and this is something you've been using for a while, and unfortunately SketchUp took away the free desktop version and went to an online version. So the amount of functions are quite limited, but if you want to do some basic things, it's good enough. I'm sort of moving towards FreeCAD, which is far better freeware to use, but it's just a little bit more complex. I haven't quite got to the point where I can use it quick and easy enough to do something like this. So I've jumped back into SketchUp, and this is just more than enough. What I've done was the square over here just was to represent where the jogger is. As I was talking about the two sleeves or jackets that I need to print for the square tubing, those represent those orange ones, and that will be inside the jogger itself, and then the rest of this is steel. So the blue represents the wheel including the tire, so I know it doesn't look like a tire, but it's just to keep things simple. I don't need anything to look fancy. I just normally do things for scale and reference for visualization purposes. So I first built this one on the side using a few dimensions, and then I realized that the spacing in these areas was too small. So I like using SketchUp or some sort of CAD software to do this, because it's pretty easy to duplicate things and readjust them and to make. So this little brown box represents the controller bag, and this brick over here, which is a bit better defined over here, represents the battery and the connector. So I was just trying to figure out different ways I could design this that I could incorporate these into here. Now I could put them inside the jogger, but the kids might stand on them, and that may be something I change to later, depending on how things go over here. This design, I didn't want to push it out too far. So obviously, to get more space, you have to make this longer, or you got to make it square. I don't want to make it square because you're obviously going to knock into things I think a little bit of a sleek design is better. So I've got to this point where this design is good enough to hold these controller and make a plan with that. So this little green PCA is something I just designed in my mind for holding this controller that I could print on my 3D printer. So I've made it this way because I could print on that surface and I won't need any supports. You can just print upwards even though it's horizontal. That'll be an easy print. This one will be a little bit trickier. I don't have that much space, as you can see, maybe a few more over there and over there, so I may have to figure out something to come up over here on these sides to hold the battery. So I won't design those until I've actually built the frame, because in all likelihood I'm going to get out, have a few mils that I'm going to be a little bit too much or too little. So once I've actually built the frame and I'm happy that the jogger is moving, the alignment is straight, then I'll go hard and design the 3D print based on what I actually have. So I think that'll be a lot easier. So like I said, this represents the wheel. That's what the jogger's little axle looks like. It's straight like that, and that's obviously to hold it in place so it doesn't move, and it has the bolts which will connect, and then there's a bit of I'd make a hole over there where those other little brackets would clamp into and prevent it from moving even further. So like I say, it's worthwhile. I wasn't going to go through how to use SketchUp because I think they're far better tutorials than I can probably give out there, but if you're designing something, this is really handy to be able to put something quickly together, particularly to see scale. So I normally have a bit of a draw of a think in something in my mind. Even if you draw it on paper, you don't quite get the gist until you've actually you've drawn it to scale, and you might make adjustments from there onwards. So the trouble I will have, and I'm not sure how I'm going to solve that, is how do I ensure that this wheel is straight with the jogger? So if I were to push it, that it doesn't go, the wheel alignment doesn't go out and either veer to the left or right. And so I'm going to have to play around with probably building this piece first, these side ones, and then making adjustments when I put these on, just spot weld them on until I find the wheel alignment is correct, and then I will weld them into place. So this is a 5mm bracket, these are 20mm steel tubings. I might duplicate this and go up to a 10mm. I'm not sure how strong a 5mm is going to be strong enough. I'll have a sort of a play around, but this will go into each other, like if you can imagine joining two scissors into another scissors. That's sort of the idea. So this will be cut, there'll be a recess in the tubing, and there'll be a recess in the flat bar, so this will be solid steel, and then they will just slip into each other, and then I'll weld along the seams. So I think we'll make it pretty strong, and like I say, I might go up to a 10mm just to make it a little bit stronger, providing I just have enough axle width on either side still. And yeah, so hopefully that gives you a bit of an idea of what my plan is. And like I say, I won't get these mounted properly until I've got everything working okay, and then once I've done that, then I get to things like painting, getting it tested, seeing if I need brakes, and that's where I will, maybe if I need brakes, if I need to, I put a piece of steel on the other side and put some V-brakes in there, and then just run that cable up. So the idea as well with having it on here means I can disconnect everything from the throttle and the e-brake if I use it, and the brake cable, and just pull the whole thing out, and I can then still use the jogger for to attach to my bicycle or put the stroller wheels in, and then I can just put this as one unit aside. So that's part of the reason too. So I could leave it in the jogger too, and then just disconnect the hub motor,
And but like I said, I'm not sure if I wanted, you know, line in there with the kids, but I'll make a decision a little bit later. There may be a box I could all put it in and keep it safe in there, and that'd mean it'd be weatherproof too. Yeah, so thanks for watching. Obviously this will be a few part series, and if you're keen to see how this goes, please like and subscribe, put those notifications on, and yeah, we'll see you for part 2. Cheers.